We are here at the 2021 International Workboat Show. I'm over at the Ox booth with Doug. Doug, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you? It's great to be back, isn't it?
It sure is in so many different ways. So, Doug, you were just part of a really great panel. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about some of what was discussed on the stage.
Sure. The whole principle of the panel was where does diesel come back into this and where is diesel going? And we were up with our competitor, and it was a really good conversation because we're in the same boat as they are, no pun intended. That diesel is here to say it's an innovative disruptor to the gasoline industry. And that's a defined term. When you're disruptive, it means you're climbing up on other people, they're taking note. And Ox is truly a disruptor because we changed the design of outboards as well.
And that change design that stems. It sounds like it stems from just a concept of not accepting this is the way we've always done it, and that being a disruptor is a result of that.
100%. You look at the current outboard motor configurations were basically developed in 1904 by Ollie Evinrude, a vertical shaft, a vertical engine. You had the shaft drive down to a gearbox that drove your impeller. When Ox came on board and they patented their belt system, they realized we don't need to do that. We can use power heads that are already proven in the industry. The power head in this engine right here, the BMW B57, there are literally 1 million motors made a year. It is a bulletproof power head. So we figured, why not use what the industry already makes, put it into a marine application? Working with companies like BMW, we're able to completely marinize it, closed loop cooling system, utilize our belt system, get rid of lower gears. And getting rid of lower gears means we can apply levels of torque that those gears couldn't take before to move heavier loads that the customer demands.
And what's been the response at the Workboat Show to the new product?
Honestly, this has been a product, the Jet Tech has been a product in development now for about 3 years. Yesterday we probably had 150 to 180 people here for the unveil. We completely shut it down. We've gotten inquiries from the government today. We've gotten inquiries from South America, Indonesia, all from what occurred at the event and the press releases. We were shocked. They sold 8. And we don't even have the production here yet. It won't actually go until January. So overwhelming. I actually couldn't say enough, and I was the owner of this project and managing it, and absolutely thrilling of what has occurred.
And one of the big things that came up on the panel was that concept of value, and that you can really showcase the value on the bottom line. I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about how users need to be focused on that overall value rather than this upfront cost that I imagine a lot of them are focused on.
Yeah, I mean, that's a phenomenal question. I'm a really black and white guy. You're going to pay for more for this motor. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is more, but you have to look at your return on investment. At minimum, you're a 10,000 hour motor life. 10,000 compared to 2, maybe 3,000 in your gasoline world, if you're lucky. Your return on investment really comes into shelf life of how long your product's going to last, but that's only part of it. The fuel economy savings compared to a gasoline outboard motor, it's not a little, it's huge. We're talking 40, 50, 60% fuel savings compared to gasoline. One of our dealers right here in Louisiana has got a fuel savings with empirical supported data of $110,000 to $130,000 a year, and he runs per boat, and he runs 10 boats. Now, any CFO or any business owner is going to go, wow, I have $1 million, but I spent more on my initial investment to save this much. The return on investment with diesel on the water, adding torque, is unprecedented in the industry. Game-changing innovation.
And last question for you. You mentioned being up on stage with your competitor, but it's really about this spirit of collaboration and cooperation that's beyond you guys, and something that's across the entire Workboat show. Can you talk a little bit about what it means to be back together, and even just that baseline, just having these conversations?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, they're absolutely a competitor to us. They sell into our marketplace. We use a different technology, but both companies are diesel. The unique thing on it, we're both the small guys on the block. To be a disruptive innovator, you're always going after the big guys and trying to get the market share. They're always going to try to block us out with that new technology. So there's similar stories with our competitor and us. And competition's good for the industry because there's more than one people telling the consumer you have more available to you than just a recreational outboard motor now. Everybody in the commercial and government world are are using recreational driven products on their boat. Why? Because that's the minority of users. Now we come in from the grassroots side with diesel power specifically designed for the commercial and government user, but now all of a sudden we see the recreational guys saying, wait a minute, I want to go another 100 miles offshore and I'm going to get that greater range. I get that greater fuel economy. So this has probably been the most exciting 3 years as the introduction of these products come in than I've ever had.
I mean, it just goes back to that concept of let's not just focus on the way we've done things. You get your hands on something like this and go, why don't we try this? And it's there.
And that's what the belt system on the Ox really brings, the patented system of how we can take these extraordinary high level of torque and put it to a propeller or to our new water jet is astronomical. And once people understand that and they can double and triple their fuel economy and get that payload that they couldn't move before, that's game changing, that's innovation, that's being a disruptor in the industry.